Alright, so you guys are gonna immediately know what it is, but it's something we need for the car to start, another big important part, and another way to be able to make power. So you guys always know I have all this old stuff, and with the SR it had old school Grady manifolds, so it had a journal bearing, really old technology, TDL 620G. I did have it upgraded to a billet wheel and like all the fancy new bearings and all the fancy new wheels, turbine housing wheels, and all the fancy stuff you can do to that series turbo. But it's obviously still not up to par with the technology nowadays. So I got this thing. Oh, I've also been working on this. Check it out, guys. It's for work. Blasty boys for the K series car. Yeah, so let's see if it shows anyone on the badge which one it is. I guess no, you guys can't even tell, but it is a K24 550. Wait, no, maybe it's a K24 660. Oh man, guys, I already forgot what turbo I got. I believe I got a K24 560 though. Or, sorry, 660. I think it's the biggest K25 you can get. I think you can make like 650 out of this. I can't remember, which is kind of funny now that since I'm showing it to you guys, it's in front of me, I'm just, you know, hitting a blank. But I went G series, new technology, so that we can make the most power we can out of this thing. Yeah, you know, we got a sequential transmission now, so I don't understand why not try to do it. I'm gonna do drive-by-wire or dry sumped, so it just kind of seemed right just to use current technology, try to get the best torque out of this engine and the best torque response out of my setup. So I'm going to be looking for not just horsepower, I really just want to get the most amount of torque and the most amount of torque response that we can get out of this, so then I can obviously keep up with people like that. Because look how big this engine is. This thing alone is 4.5 liters. Just a supercharger. The supercharger's got its own radiator. How the hell am I supposed to keep up with that? Well, this is how we're gonna attempt to not keep up, but be fast enough that he won't leave us in the dust. And with that, you know, it comes, you know, it's kind of funny because it came with all the flanges that it needed. It came with the exhaust flange and the inlet flange for the turbo housing. I ended up ordering, you know, I was trying to be prepared, so I ordered, I guess, the same one. Oh no, it's different. That one's actually called something else. But I guess I ordered the same one. The same thing, it came with all of the banjo bolts, or not the banjo, although like whatever, the feed and the water. It didn't come with a return, but I ordered a return and it looks like it's gonna work. -10 return. We got a B-band inlet because I plan to attempt at making my own manifold. So you guys remembered, I do want to make a replica mid-mount. So if I could ever get this loose, be able to test this thing out. Bam. Sick. So that item right there we can pretty much figure out kind of location for the turbo to sit with that, and be able to start our collector from there to whatever, to that, and then to the head. So we got that flange, figure out where to set the turbo. I might give you guys a quick mock-up real quick. All right, this turbo is ridiculously heavy for me to hold with one hand. I'm a weak guy. All right, cool. Just able to put that camera there. So, yeah. Let's hope to do something like this. Hopefully, this is all I have to do right here, yo. Down, pop, back. Cool. Exhaust manifold going. You know, could even do some stuff like that. Just kind of clock like that. I don't know yet, guys. I don't know exactly how it's gonna work. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to set the turbo. I do want it to sit as low as possible. Just so it would be kind of mid-mount. That theme. It'd be really cool if I can set it like that somehow. I think this is exactly where mid-mount sits. It would be cool if we can do that. But, you know, it's just me getting to work and stop procrastinating. So yeah, that's here, so I can at least, like I said, figure that out. The real big thing that I should try to do is find a location that I want the turbo, and somehow get the flange set with the housing, and somehow get those two things like jigged up with that. So like I have like what is it called? So I just have the turbo sitting somewhere, and I can start running the pipes towards the turbo, and I could, you know, make my design in that direction. Kind of like a jig fixture type of thing, just so I can work on it. But that's what the game plan's gonna be. So it's really awesome that this showed up. Another random thing that I did, and it's kind of funny, but I only did it because kind of necessity. I ordered this a while ago, and I ordered a regular rotation one, but it's been on back order forever. Oh man, I keep ruining this camera thing. It's been on back order for a long time. So I hit him up, our homie Mike, at turn 14, and he was like, hey man, we happen to have a reverse rotation. So, you know, I was like, thought about it. And like the next day I was like, yo, actually send me the reverse rotation, because reverse rotation would have made it easier for me to clock where I wanted to and the way I wanted to. So the way that this one spins, it obviously spins reverse rotation compared to the other one. These are made for when people want to do, what's it called? I think mainly when people are doing twin turbo setups. So whenever you do a twin turbo setup, you want a turbo right here, one turbo right here. And if you had this turbo, and you think about it, if you just had them both sitting in the engine bay, both next to each other, it would kind of not look symmetrical, because the inlets and outlets are both in the opposite, or would be in one side would be the opposite of the other. So technically, like, this turbo fits perfect for it to sit on the left side of the engine, because the exhaust sits on the right side of the turbo and the inlet would sit on the left. So even if I clocked it like, say, up, right, then came out this way, that would be perfect like this, boom. And then same thing with that way. And then let's just say I had a reverse rotation and I had it over here, it would be perfect the other way. So I was like, holy crap, just send me that one, because it kind of doesn't even matter. It's gonna work perfectly fine, and it'll be here. And if anything, it's gonna like, it works better with my setup because of the way that reverse rotation is. So another quick thing that I want to show you guys is this, and it's the exhaust flange. And the exhaust flange is kind of neat because I guess you guys are not even going to be able to see this here at all. Ooh, this is neat. So, man, wow, those things are machined so perfect. Like, they go in so good with these little recess and stuff. Wait, this one's the same way. So that right there is the start of our turbo setup. Whee! Our manifold, flange for the inlet, and then we have our exhaust manifold flange for the head, and then we have our downpipe flange, which I hope, and I ordered a titanium flange, so I'm going to attempt at making myself a neat, cool little pie coat, kind of like that, pie cut titanium downpipe for this. And you know, I might get spicy and run titanium all the way to the cat back, and then just from the cat back just have regular until I get more spicy, and then weld titanium all the way back there. Spicy. But that's the game plan. Turbo, like I said, I tried to order at least on accident, order extra B-band flanges, but that's just because I wanted to be prepared. I wanted all the stuff to show up, and I have it all. What was the other thing? One last thing that I want to show you guys is this. New tag equals cool, fancy stuff. So I'm gonna put that, which is a turbine wheel speed sensor, on this turbo. See how this is capped? It's gonna go in there, and it's gonna read the wheel speed of the actual turbo itself, and that's gonna be read by the ECU. And what we're gonna be able to see with the ECU is if we're ever over boosting and maxing out the turbo, it should be able to control it then, and then we'll be able to see the efficiency of the turbo, so we'll be able to find out if we're just throwing boost at it and not making more power, or if like the turbo is efficiently going good but something else is wrong. Like so it's going to be a good amount of data to be able to collect and get the car, you know, tuned up better and stuff like that. So it's just more fancy electronics to keep the engine and the whole car alive. I honestly want to do more fancy stuff. Like I really want to do anti-lag and somehow put an exhaust port into the exhaust manifold. So if I ran fresh air to the middle of this from like the intercooler by a smaller drive-by-wire, like I don't know, most people have seen Ryan Turk's car, and Ryan Turk's has that setup, and it's just so cool. And I would love to be able to let out the throttle and my turbo stay at 30 psi the whole entire time, and then just get back on. It's like no turbo lag. So I want to do stuff like that, and I want to implement other things like nitrous. I really want to run nitrous. I know that I might not have to with this size turbo, especially with the power that I'm trying to get, but I'm just trying to achieve, like I said, that power curve. These things right here have power always. Like you can, at 200 RPM, this thing probably makes enough torque to beat my car, like literally. So I want to be able to just think about it, guys. So today I stayed after work and tried to get something done like always, and the thing I got done was these little two cover plates to get rid of my dipstick hole and to get rid of my oil cap. So make sure. So yeah, like I said, I got these two little cover plates, which get rid of this hole right here, which is the dipstick, and then it gets rid of this one down here, which is, I'm trying to see if you guys can see, and that will be the oil cap. So now this valve cover officially doesn't have any provisions for me to be able to fill it with oil or check the oil. And that's because of my dry sump. So since I have a dry sump tank, the checking and filling will be done in the tank. So you know, you gotta open the tank, see how much is in there, and anytime I'm gonna do my oil change, I'm gonna have to drain the tank itself, then prime the pump, try to get all the oil that's in the lines, you know, take the filter out and put a new filter on, put oil in it, and then you prime the pump in the lines again. And then you can try to turn your car on with hopefully some primed oil pressure, just so you could be safe. But yeah, I've been just trying to do little things here at the shop that I need to get done to be able to finish my car. And this is something I had on my list, and it was something fun I could do tonight, so I decided to just kind of hurry up and do it. And another thing I need to do is I need to weld this back one shut. I can technically flip it over real quick and just weld all this, which is probably, oh my goodness, wow, I saved that. Anyways, so which is probably what I'm gonna do. I am just gonna try to weld that last hole real quick and go home after that, call it a day. And it's actually kind of cool, and I feel like it's a big accomplishment for me tonight. This is not done though, guys. So I'm gonna lie to myself, and by the time that I post this video, you guys are gonna be able to do anything. But I was thinking about leaving it like this. So should I leave it like this with my ugly ass welds on it, or really my plan was to hit it with the flapper and just make it completely flat so it just looks like nothing's there. So when I paint it and etc., it's just, you know, completely covered. Which probably I'll do that, and which means I'll just get the flapper disc and everything else. I don't think I'm gonna do that tonight. I could, but I could just weld that up and just go home tomorrow. You know, if I could do that, I'll have at least something to do, just so I can continue to do little things every night to it after work. I didn't come here this weekend, so that's one of my big problems, and it's my fault because I decided to, you know, rest and do other fun things instead of coming here and working on my car. But this week we're at it again. So quick update for today. No, it's not much, it's 5 minutes, but cool stuff. Not even 5 minutes later, little button weld, and now I'm gonna try to take this and just throw it over the engine. Just make sure I don't get too much dirt inside my engine bay tonight. Let's hope I don't burn myself. But yeah, so little stuff here and there. You know, trying to get this car done. But that's actually super cool. Whoa, that's awesome, guys. So yeah, it looks really kind of funky with no valve, no oil cap, which is kind of messed up because we make really cool oil caps here at Coreworks. But race car, it's kind of cooler to just have the proper thing. Really, it would have been cooler if I would have been able to afford a billet valve cover that already comes for dry sump, so it doesn't have the provisions like for a dipstick or the, like I said, the cat, no dipstick or no oil cap. But now we have that in there. Just sand that down. The back plug is plugged up, so it's perfectly fine for I mean, basically it's done. I was thinking about doing some fittings from it to my catch cans. I'm gonna do a little looking up to see if that's fine. I know some engines have a lot of positive crank pressure or whatever it's called, but I'm gonna try to maybe put a regulator on this too as well. So we'll see how it all works out though. You know, if I have to take it apart and weld another bung, I will. So I'm trying to wait until one of the last minutes to paint the valve cover, but steps are coming along. Woo!